So it's June 20th, 2020. And we're here with Maui Jones, walking over the Circle Bridge. And we're going to talk about Juneteenth. So Maui, can you tell us a little bit about the history of Juneteenth?
Yeah. So the Emancipation Proclamation was issued January 1st, but in 1863. However, it didn't reach, the last place it reached was Texas. And it didn't reach Texas. General Gordon Granger delivered the proclamation to Texas June 19th, 1865. And that became a day of celebration, Jubilee Day or Freedom Day or Juneteenth as it's most commonly known. And it got revitalized. Sorry, there's a little bug on my glasses. I don't want to kill them. It got revitalized in the 70s in Texas, and which is where our current mayor of Forest Park, Roy Hoskins, is from. And the reason we celebrate it here is actually, I think, because of him. He fought really hard to bring Juneteenth to Forest Park. So we've been celebrating it yearly here at the pool. Having to do things differently this year because of quarantine and the pandemic. But yeah, a little brief history on that. To me, it's the actual day that celebrates freedom in this country. The day that men were not able to say they owned a person. So that would be Juneteenth.
And yesterday there was a rally and a march. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, in light of the ongoing events, I don't want to say recent events because they happen so frequently that it's not recent. It just keeps happening. In light of the incidences of police violence, some citizens, Forest Park citizens, got together and put together this event, Meet Us at the Bridge, this rally, and this starting point for Forest Park to say that enough is enough, to say that time's up on systemic racism and time's up on racial inequity, and that we are committing as a group of citizens to hold our town accountable to make sure that Juneteenth celebration of freedom is not a fallacy. To make sure that we are actually all treated equally and fairly and have the same vision of freedom, right? Because what's freedom for some is not freedom for others. And it was incredible. It was a powerful moment to be on this bridge, holding that space with so many people. The significance of doing it on a bridge, like, cannot be understated. During the civil rights movement of the 50s and 60s, it's a legend almost at this point. It's so powerful. It's the story of the protesters attempting to cross the Pettus Bridge, and yesterday was our Pettus Bridge. And to do it with this multiracial, multi-generational coalition of the willing, all standing on this bridge for Black lives, it was one of the most special days of my life.
So can you tell me more about what do you see as the significance of the bridge?
So, with the bridge, with the Pettis Bridge, I mean that so just the whole scenario of that, the amount of times that they tried to cross that bridge, they were beaten and jailed and stabbed and lynched just trying to walk across a bridge, just to peacefully demonstrate in a march, shot with water cannons. And I think, moments like that are special. Moments like that, they live on through us in genetic memory. So being able to occupy a bridge the way we did yesterday, while it evokes how far we have to go, it also shows us how far we've come. We're on this bridge, and at one point there was a march that day, and they came from Broadview, they came up Madison, and then they came down Circle Avenue, and instead of being greeted with water cannons and dogs, they were greeted with a community that embraced them and cheered for them. And we watched them come through our crowd and cross this bridge. And that was, I teared up in that moment. I could not believe that I was like, oh, I'm not just standing here in 2020, I'm standing back in the 60s when they're trying to cross that bridge. I have somehow time traveled in my mind with my community and just occupied this moment in time that means so much to me, so much to my people. And in that moment, it meant so much to my entire community. We all shared that moment and that energy together. And I realized in that moment, this isn't gonna just be a one-off thing. I truly believe that we just reignited that civil rights movement. Right? We are actually right now and yesterday on that bridge, standing in history. We're talking about the history of, we're talking about Juneteenth, and we're talking about the Pettis Bridge. Well, maybe 60 years from now, they talk about the Circle Bridge, that day at the Circle Bridge, right? And we just added into the historical record a new chapter in Forest Park history. So Pettis Bridge, Circle Bridge, Selma, Alabama, Forest Park, we're now connected. And so that's what I think is special about yesterday.
Thank you, Maui.
Thank you. Thanks for walking the bridge with me, walking through history.
Anytime.